There's quite a few heavyweights out there who have sparred both Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. Several of them have been interviewed, and all of them that I've seen so far have picked Anthony Joshua to win. These are people who have shared the ring with both guys. There's a narrative out there among some of my viewers that I've got something against Daniel Dubois. But of course, there's a different faction of my viewers who claim I've got something against Anthony Joshua. This is what happens when you don't have a dog in the race and you're just analyzing things objectively. Both sides accuse you of bias. And that's in fact the measure of objectivity. That's the measure of impartiality, if both sides are attacking you. But anyway, to address the Dubois crowd, who say I've got something against him and I'm underestimating him and all this kind of stuff, I'm just a guy making YouTube videos. So it's easy to dismiss my views. But how about actual professional heavyweight boxers who have been in the ring with both guys? What do you say to them? People like Matty Harris, for example. And I picked him specifically because he's not trained by Ben Davison. He's not in the Anthony Joshua camp as a permanent member. He's trained by Peter Fury. But not only is he picking Anthony Joshua to win, he thinks AJ is going to knock Dubois' spark out. So again, never mind my view. Explain to me why you think Matty Harris, having shared the ring with AJ and Dubois, has come to this particular conclusion that AJ is going to spark him out. Because that's my prediction. And interestingly enough, I saw Otto Wallen in an interview the other day picking AJ to stop Dubois somewhere around the 8th or the 9th. That's what I'm going for. I think AJ is going to knock him out in dramatic fashion around the 8th or the 9th. Now, obviously, and of course, I'm very much open to the possibility that Dubois could win the fight. He's got the power, he's got the youth, he's got the energy, he's got the jab, he's got the stamina, he's got certain advantages over Anthony Joshua. He absolutely does. So it wouldn't be a massive shock to me if Daniel Dubois managed to get the victory. Not at all. But when I look at both fighters, when I analyze their styles and also their dimensions, in my head, an Anthony Joshua victory seems more likely. He's got the experience. I think he's quicker than Dubois. As far as hand speed, I think he's more accurate. I think he's a more correct puncher, a cleaner puncher. And the thing which I think will be somewhat surprising to people, I mean, I don't know why, because you've seen him at the face-off already, but when they get in the ring, I think people will be a little taken aback by how much physically bigger Anthony Joshua is than Daniel Dubois. I mean, you look at their BoxRec pages, and it's got Dubois listed at 6'5", and Anthony Joshua listed at 6'6". I'm sorry, folks, but the height difference is definitely more than 1 inch. Anthony Joshua also has a 4-inch reach advantage. And as far as weight, he's going to be, at least 10 pounds heavier? I would have thought. If we have a look at Anthony Joshua's weight in his last few fights, he's around the 250 up to 255 mark. That's what he's been weighing recently, between 250 and 255. Daniel Dubois, on the other hand, has been weighing 239 against Miller, 245 against Hrgovic. So it's going to be maybe a 10-pound difference. Anthony Joshua is a physically bigger human being. Now, that's not the be-all and end-all, of course. But if you think back to the Joe Joyce fight, I know it was a long time ago, but if you think back to that fight, do you remember how Joyce was able to control things on the outside against Dubois? And we know Joyce doesn't have a great defense. You can say a lot of things about AJ, you can make a lot of critiques, point out a lot of flaws, but he certainly is more defensively responsible than Joe Joyce. AJ and Joyce are the same height. I think they've got the same reach. Think about the way Joyce was able to control things on the outside against Dubois. Keep him frozen on the outside. Chip away at him, bust his eye. And this is a guy with painfully slow hand speed, Juggernaut Joyce. He does have very good fitness. That's what I will say for him. Very, very good fitness. Better fitness than Anthony Joshua, I would say. But because AJ is so much faster than Joyce, so much more explosive, hits harder in my estimation, if he's able to hurt his opponent and put him in their box early, then he can start to control the pace, dictate the pace. And as an older fighter, as a guy who's been known to gas out in the past, AJ doesn't want to fight at the kind of high tempo that Dubois might want to fight at. He's going to want to bring the tempo down to something that's comfortable for him. And his power and counterpunching and accuracy in the early rounds will be the key to that. Because if he can hurt Daniel Dubois, if he can intimidate him early, that will discourage him from throwing punches and discourage him from working at the pace he wants to work at. At which point I think AJ takes control of the fight, pot shots, picks away, weakens Dubois with a punishment he'll be doling out. And by the 8th, 9th, Dubois will be there for the taking. Maybe there's a last-ditch effort from him. Don Charles G's him up in the corner. His dad's at ringside G'ing him up. He comes out swinging in the 8th or 9th, giving it one last big effort. and he walks into something massive and gets cleaned out. That's what I see in my mind's eye. Again, I'm totally open to the possibility that I could be dramatically wrong. It's heavyweight boxing, and it's not like AJ's never been beat before. It's not like he's never been stopped before. It's not like he's never been hurt before. I'm very aware that Daniel Dubois has got a very good jab. Look at AJ's nose in the Robert Helenius fight, bleeding heavily from Helenius's jab. I'm not writing Dubois off here at all. But if you want to know more about why I think Anthony Joshua is going to win this fight and win it by knockout, check out the film study I've done on my Patreon page. It's over an hour long. I break down actual fight footage of several of their key bouts. I point out strengths and weaknesses, aptitudes that both guys have, habits that they have, that the other guy could exploit as well. If you want to access this video along with hundreds of hours worth of other exclusive boxing content, as well as our members chat, just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called the Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store. All the links are in the description box below.